Just as green ICT can help other industrial and commercial sectors improve their power efficiency and reduce their CO2 emissions, it can also assist governments with their own green agendas. An increasing number of cities and municipalities are in the process of implementing schemes to reduce the harmful impact of modern lifestyles on the environment. Smart cities, intelligent urbanizations, whatever you call it, we are seeing a determined move into holistic approaches to leverage ICT as the next utility for integrated city management, better quality of life for citizens and economic development. This is vitally important when you hear that 20 of the world's most populous cities alone are responsible for 75% of the planet's energy consumption.
The cities are starting to get it, and we are living in an increasingly urban world, and you know, people are going to be living in these big mega cities with 20, 30 million people in. So we've got to start to plan those cities incredibly carefully and smartly if people are going to be able to coexist and not do too much damage to the planet. So urban planners are beginning to think about, okay, how do we make those cities sustainable? How do we collect information about how people need to travel, their energy use and so on, and make them as environmentally friendly as possible?
There's no reason for any buildings to be built today that is not generating more energy than it's using. So all of a sudden the world's largest user of energy, buildings, which is contributing to about 40% of the world's emission, could be turned into a solution. But then we need these sort of intelligent solutions, broadband connectivity, because otherwise you would not be able to make the interior smart. You can't design it in a smart way. You can't control the electricity use so it's optimal.
We need to move quickly, we need to scale quickly, but we also need to be laboratories of innovation. We need to allow cities around the world to experiment quickly, to adopt new strategies, to learn from those strategies, whether or not things are working, and then to be able to produce strategies again to allow their successes to be advanced and share the failures so they're not advanced around the rest of the globe.
Stockholm has been named by the European Commission as the first winner of the European Green Capital Awards, and will be the European Green Capital in 2010.
We have the goal of being completely fossil-free city by the year 2050. Today we have emissions of 4 tons per person a year, which is something we're working constantly on decreasing. We have a vision about being a world-class community and to working towards modern technology in every aspect of it. And of course sustainability is part of it.
It's important for a city to have access to a real good network. With fiber you will be secure for the future. We have a lot of customers who's connected office with fiber to centralize their IT solution, and then they can reduce energy and doing better, smarter solution.
Now with the new parts of town being built, we are also building in more fuel-efficient or energy-efficient solutions.
Stockholm Royal Seaport is supposed to be an environmental area in world class. And so we have started to have targets for energy consumption and CO2 emissions and so on. Clinton Foundation is an initiative with 10 different cities around the world and 16 environmental areas, and it's supposed to exchange technology and information, the best information that you can get around the world. The Stockholm Royal Seaport is one of those 16 areas.
In Singapore, the IDA is working to create a green ICT Centre of Excellence.
Being the ICT champion for Singapore, the focus on IT equipment, the focus on data centers is quite appropriate for us. But ICT can also be used as the smarts in the other areas. These other areas could be transportation, could be even healthcare, or even electricity distribution and so on. The intelligence provided by ICT and the communications capability provided by ICT can result in better management of these services so that we improve the overall efficiency.
We're hearing business models talked about now where you'll have your car and the car will always be telling some sensor where you are, and you go and plug in. And before they recharge your battery, they go to the power generator and go, where are you in your daily cycle? And they look at where you are in the daily cycle, and they look at what you as a consumer have said your driving habits are going to be, and they decide whether or not they're going to take electricity out of your car or whether they're going to fill you up, and they they charge you accordingly. Okay, so it's that sort of sensors and communications that are going to allow us to be much more efficient in the way we use and generate electricity, and that's going to help us all.
Talking to many, many cities in the world, we realize that public sector now starts to come up with the requirement to have this tool. They want to proactively monitor their performance in the city. We developed a system called City Cockpit. The City Cockpit is a business intelligence tool, enables a city to monitor their key performance indicators coming from finance, from transportation, from environment, from healthcare, and then wherever the individual depends of the requirements of a city, for example, from crime rates and other activities.
Singapore's Nanyang Polytechnic has collaborated with ICT provider HP to create a green ICT solution centre.
In Singapore, HP has got a very long working relationship with a lot of educational institutions on critical ICT projects that is both meaningful to HP as well as beneficial to society. We want this collaboration between Nanyang Poly and HP Hewlett-Packard to be the platform for creating greater awareness on the importance of green ICT in Singapore. At the same time, we want to instill eco-consciousness in the next generation. And of course, what better way to do this than driving the influence through the ICT industry itself. We are contributing to Singapore as a centre of excellence by importing all the latest technologies and innovations in the green area from both HP as well as the best practices from various companies here. And by putting all in one location, I think we are allowing companies to actually try it out. I think that's one good step for us to improve on the adoption of such practices for the rest of Singapore.
The purpose is with the environmental issues that it shouldn't be difficult to live in this kind of area. So in the best case, you don't even know that you're living in an environmental area because it's so easy to live in it.
We've got to make being sustainable desirable, and it's something that people want to do, and it can't all be about sacrifice and giving things up and living in a terrible, scary world. It's got to be about businesses making profits and people leading happier, more fulfilled lives.